And we're live.
Hey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Premiere Prep Live. First, tell us about the audio. Is it good? Last time we had somebody chime in near the end saying that the guest microphone was low.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already regretting having him on. But this is Jack Frank. You may know his brother from our previous live streams, Jesse. And so we're doing this. We've been doing our live streams on Thursdays, but we did it today because Jack wanted to be on the show. And the only time that it seemed appropriate to have Jack on the show was April Fool's Day.
Okay.
Because it's just a fitting thing to have you on April Fool's Day.
All right. Yeah, I can respect that.
Okay. Yeah, just chime in down below. Make sure that our audio is actually sounding pretty good. Let me monitor live chat. Awesome. Oh boy. All right. So, welcome, Jack.
You're welcome. Welcome to the podcast, Mike. I'm glad to have you on board. I think we have a list of topics today to talk about. I don't remember. What are the topics we were supposed to talk about?
Well,
it looks unprofessional.
We're doing the normal rundown. We're starting off with in the news. So Will Smith slaps Chris Rock at the Oscars.
I've heard about that.
What's your take on this obviously staged moment?
Well, okay. Be it staged or may not be staged. It's got some really killer memes. Like, I saw someone, they made it where whenever he slaps him, he turns into a ragdoll and flies across the stage. That's pretty impressive.
There definitely were some funny memes. The reason why I say that, though, is because I'll be honest, the Oscars, their ratings have been plummeting over the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, I mean, I don't think I've ever watched an Oscar. Mm-hmm. This is the only thing. I didn't even know the Oscars were going on.
Well, and I'll say this too. It did just straight up feel staged.
I mean, okay, I'll give it this. It does look very staged, and the way he kind of like walks on like this, walks off.
Well, he was laughing literally seconds beforehand.
Yeah, and so the thing is, it's like, yes, it is fake, but like there are some really talented people out there, and I think it it allows them to exhibit their skills in a way that you wouldn't have ever expected.
You're saying the memers?
Yes, the memers.
Hats off to you, memers. We respect you and appreciate you in this moment. Okay, so that's kind of our take on Will Smith slaps Chris Rock at the Oscars.
It slaps.
It slaps. Pretty much nothing. I'm getting tired of all of it anyway. Let me see. The Ronin 4D Mark II was announced, and it has 14K resolution.
Wow, that's a lot of pixels.
That is a lot of pixels.
At least 144p.
It's at least one. See what I mean? April Fools.
How many frames per minute does it shoot? What's the shutter speed? For the valve timing on it. I don't know. What does it mean? I understand 14K is a lot, but like, what is actually the dimension of 14K?
I'm trying to think if this is the first April Fools I've done on the channel.
I'm literally asking. Okay. I mean, like, what is it? Like 10,000 by 5,000 square feet? It sounds really big. I'm asking a genuine question.
Okay. But yeah, look it up. Anyway.
Is it a drone? I heard the... No, I'm serious. I thought the Ronin was a drone.
Okay, so for a little bit of backstory, you film how many weddings?
200. I'm
Wow.
still filming weddings. I stand behind the camera. He presses the record button, but I stand beside it. Technically, by the transitive property, I am filming. Look it up.
But yeah, so being serious for 1 second, Jack is definitely a computer guy. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to be talking about editing computers a little bit later.
I'll need your credit card and the digits on the back real quick for my next hacking job.
This may be the best or the worst thing I've ever done for April Fools. I can't tell. Okay, so but yeah, the DJI Ronin 4D Mark II, they've added another axis of stabilization. You know, basically you had you had side to side and up and down stabilization. Now you have front and back. They've also added 3D audio. You can actually input one XLR cable to any boom mic, and it will automatically make it 3D. The other thing that's really cool about this camera is, like I said, the 14K resolution, but the optics. It actually comes with a fixed. I'm not too happy about the fixed lens, but it comes with a fixed f1.1 lens that has a zoom range between 7mm and 150 millimeters. So I don't think you'll ever need to change out lenses anyway. So this camera is super, super impressive, and I cannot wait to see the demo footage from Philip Bloom on this thing.
That does sound cool. It does kind of go over my head. Because like I've heard the term f-stop, but I don't really know what it does. I mean, I know what it does.
It's similar to a T-stop, dude.
I don't know. I know when you press these buttons on the camera, it causes it to go darker, and one of them makes it look different, but I don't know why they do it. I just know that you press this button and it does this.
Cool. Moving on to the next piece of news.
You picked the topics, man.
Well. Okay, so Apple has finally announced the accurate performance numbers of the Mac Studio. So basically what the performance numbers come down to is for $4,000, if you were to put that same money into a PC, the PC is still only about 3 times as fast as the Mac Studio. So I'm glad they finally came clean about those numbers, and I'm glad that Apple is finally fessing up to the fact that their machines are overpriced.
They came clean to that? Because okay. You've never met him, but my biased friend, who I will not name, was saying like the new, what is it? Doesn't have the new M1 chip in it?
The M1 Ultra.
M1 Ultra.
It's basically 2 M1s fused together.
Okay.
M1 Maxes fused together, I believe.
According to him, in like the Apple sort of Premiere Pro actually.
Yeah.
Apparently had really good performance. Of course, I didn't research any of this, but I heard that for what it was,
Do you know how to research?
I do research on occasion.
Okay.
I mean, I researched, what was the best drink, and Perrier came up, and that was part of my research. I know how to research, okay? I found the best electric scooter. Check it out on my channel tomorrow at 7:00 a.m.
Okay, so yeah, a little bit of backstory about Jack. He is the Duke. You can find his channel. It is simply the Duke. And he has some wonderful content that basically is April Fool's every video. So check it out.
I mean, it's not all April Fools, but like it's better than April Fools. But for the sake of Micah's podcast, it's April Fools.
Okay, so that's in the news. We have let me see. We did cover Will Smith and Chris Rock. We covered the DJI Ronin 4D Mark II, and the fact that Apple finally admits that their computers are overpriced.
Look at my Crocs, man. They can hang on here. Ooh. There we go.
Jesse's having a heart attack behind the camera.
Don't panic, Jesse. It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, so like I said, the only way that we could get Jack onto the show, being it's a filmmaking show, was April Fool's.
What are you saying, Micah, about me? What are you saying about me?
I'm saying I regret ever making you my friend. Okay, so today is Tech Talk. Today's Tech Talk is editing computers, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Sony Vegas. So you are, being serious, you are a computer guy.
Yes.
Yeah, you even work in the IT industry.
Yes.
And you just built a new computer, right? Tell us about it.
Okay, so the context for building it was I wanted to future-proof, because the last computer I built was in 2016. And it was some Asus motherboard, the Hero Maximus, whatever, MATX one, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 6700K.
Wait, MATX, that's micro ATX, right?
Yeah.
You're working with a micro ATX board?
Yeah. I got a little bitty case. It's the Corsair case, and what it does is it splits all your cable crap and your beauty stuff. It separates them. So that
also,
way
you can RGB.
I actually never put RGB in it, though. But
What a sin.
Kim Kardashian. The one thing that you can do, well, actually, what?
What does Kim Kardashian have to do with it?
I was saying but. Anyway, Going back to what we were saying, so about this new PC build, it is running a Ryzen 3900X.
He's your brother.
Yeah, I wish he wasn't.
You're gonna regret this. Alrighty. My new PC build is running a Ryzen 3900X, which is 12 cores compared to 4 cores, partially because I wanted to flex on Micah. I wanted to have the most cores out of anyone here.
Yeah,
That was
I've got
a-
6 cores.
That was a big motivator for me buying the upgrade, which Jesse actually paid for, but I paid him back. It's a long story. However, I also decided to go for another Asus motherboard, which I found locally and got a good deal on it.
Okay.
And essentially, that was really all I upgraded, because I had already gotten 32 gigs of RAM, G-Skill RAM, which I think is the best. And I'll tell you, alrighty, okay, a little pet peeve right here. I upload to YouTube, and if you upload anything at 1080p, it's going to butcher the dark images on something. It's just going to destroy it. So what you do to get around it is you upload it to 2K. You basically double the resolution. And so a 5-minute video before would take around an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 16 minutes.
And you're rendering out of what?
Sony Vegas Pro 13. I do need to upgrade. I will give it that. I do need an upgrade. But okay.
Is it still Sony Vegas at that point?
Oh, it's still Sony.
It's not Magic's?
No, it still says Sony.
Because you know that Magic's bought Sony Vegas, right?
Oh, I know. They've
Yeah.
actually done a fantastic job.
That's what I was going to say is the new, what do they call it? The Sony Vegas, or they call it like Vegas Studio Pro, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. And they have basically a Photoshop wannabe. They have an After Effects wannabe. And when I'm saying like wannabe, especially with the, what do they call it? Vegas Effects.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Dude, that thing looks a lot like After Effects.
I've not much in it, but I saw that they're making their whole basically whole suite to compete with the Adobe. I don't know what do they call their suite.
I think they're going to get there. Honestly, in order to compete, they're going to have to at least support Mac.
Oh yeah, and I mean I haven't done too much research in regards to that, but from what I've seen, I mean, of course, one thing I've always liked about Sony Vegas is that it was originally an audio editing program. And
Okay.
So it actually has a whole lot more options to edit audio compared to, I'd say, the majority, at least maybe not now, but when it was in its prime.
Yeah.
Which I will admit, Vegas is not in its prime anymore, but I think it's probably the best editing software out there, in my opinion.
Yeah. Even coming from the 13, Vegas 13 days.
Even that, it doesn't have a subscription, which is a big plus in my book.
Well, you can still get it without the description, but I will say your standalone license is about $1,000, I think, for the studio version with all the applications, which is still really good.
Oh, yeah.
But it's $300 a year, and so that basically gives you about 3 years of being under the price of a perpetual license.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that 3 years, they're probably going to come out with versions that you would want to upgrade to anyway. So my question is, would you really mind paying that amount of money? Especially considering that Adobe Creative Cloud is like $600 a year. 600 and how much is it? 650 something, I think.
It's 600 pretty much.
600 pretty much. I don't know. I've never paid for it. But the pizza impersonating a videographer and IT expert. I object.
Wow. Who is that? Excuse me.
But yeah, you are impersonating a videographer pretty much every time you touch
I
a camera.
am a videographer, okay? I video stuff. Have you seen a whole... Well, actually, never mind. Not that video. That video is privatized. Have you seen West Boys?
No.
Have you seen aminal hunting?
Animal hunting?
No, not animal, aminal.
No.
Those are some classics. Look them up. I'm truly an artist, and I belonged here in this videographer title.
See, the absolute legendary moment from the Duke channel for me is the bidet review.
I love the vegan bidet. It's that I think I really came into my own there, artistically and spiritually in that video. Because, it just clicked. I was really... Okay, I'll just tell you this. A bidet changed my life. It really did. All right, because I'll tell you, Taco Tuesday, when it comes 9 o'clock at night, you're gaming with the bros, and it hits, man. Alrighty? You gonna be praying that you have a bidet. I'm just saying. And I did. And, I've tried to spread the word of bidets to all my friends. Unfortunately, most of them have rejected it, which is unfortunate.
This guy gave me 2 as a wedding present.
I thought it was...
We're about to give him to the Christian mission, unopened.
Unopened? You didn't even try it out?
No.
Well, while I have my own perspectives on this, I would like them back, actually, so I can double layer them, Because, it's funny, he didn't know what they were, so you just walked in one time, you come back, you're like, why is there water all over me, man? I'm sorry.
All right, we're getting off
That's not
track.
tech-related.
So Vegas Pro.
How did we get into this? I don't remember. Okay.
We had you on the show.
That's true.
Happy April Fools, everybody. This is what you get.
Vegas Pro is amazing. I will upgrade eventually. I keep on buying electric scooters, and that's why I can't upgrade.
But yeah, once you get the Vegas Studio, I really want to see what it can do because again, Vegas effects, Vegas, what do they call it? Vegas Picture or Vegas
I think
Photo?
it's Magix. I think they're going they're only keeping the Vegas for the editing part, and they're naming different.
I thought it was all underneath the Vegas umbrella.
I haven't done enough research about it, but
yeah.
I do know that what you're talking about, they do have the whole big suite of everything.
Well, and Vegas still has the ability to take OFX plugins and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
So you can.
I don't know what that means.
So you answered yes anyway?
Pluralize?
No.
I don't know what an OFX plugin is. I'm sorry.
OFX is an open FX standard.
I'm just gonna say probably because it's awesome, but I don't really mess with any plugins.
Well, I was looking at the Mocha Pro website.
I was gonna say, the way you multicam, you have your videos on 3 different tracks, and you just cut out the parts of the video you want, and the different cameras, so you have 3 different tracks. You don't blend them into one what kind of software does that?
Almost all of them.
Anyway, what were you saying about Mocha? I like coffee.
Mocha Pro. It is the leading motion tracking tool that you can get.
Groovy.
You know what? Let's get back to a subject So pizza, it's good, right?
I love pizza. I'll tell you, I hate Little Caesars. Alrighty, every single time I would go at 5 o'clock, they would never have a hot and ready. And one time they took my order, and 20 minutes later they didn't have it. And some kind gentleman actually got up and got angry on my behalf. And then they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot the pizza." I realize we are getting off topic again, but I had to share that grievances because we are about to go to a grievance of the month. Or
Woes of the week, yes.
That's it.
Well, I promise everybody watching that we will have an actual filmmaker / video professional again. We will have a real video professional / filmmaker next time.
You can't do anything about it.
Happy April Fools, everybody. This is what you get. You said you wanted an April Fool's joke. This is what you get.
Okay, let's go on.
Okay, so yes, we were talking about Sony Vegas and your editing computers and everything. So you had to install a new... So the licensing for Sony Vegas, I'm actually unfamiliar. Is it kind of like... I don't know. With DaVinci Resolve, after you install, you just type in your license key and it will activate it from offline or from online. How does it work with Sony Vegas? Do you have a file you have to keep with it? Because I remember with Lightworks, you could keep your activation file.
So it's actually kind of funny. The Sony Creative Software website is still up specifically for this purpose. You even go there, a little lock on most browsers. It's unlocked, I think.
Really?
It's such an old site.
The SSL certificate's expired or something?
Yeah. So what you do, I have not ever found a limit to how many code times you can put it in, because I have had.
So you're telling me the latest Vegas that Sony made, you could probably go technically get for free.
Probably, although I'll go and tell you. Have you ever heard of Humble Bundle?
Oh yeah.
They had Sony Vegas Edit for $25. You got in a bundle with a whole bunch of magic stuff for $25. All right, it's pretty crazy.
It's probably only worth about half that too, so that's pretty good.
Anyway, Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't know if the new ones work that way, but the old one, I pretty much have always had it where I put in, once you like register it, you put in your address, you put in the code, you can put it on a new computer. I've had to wipe Windows a couple times. It never has
As one has to do with Windows.
And he before this, he was actually complaining that he wasn't able to play a video correctly with like VLC Media Player. I use Windows Media Player, because Windows 7 for life.
Are you actually on Windows 7?
No, I'm on Windows 10, but Windows Media Player is from Windows 7, which was the best Windows.
That's true.
I'm not.
Oh, I don't deny that.
No cap.
Windows 7 was the best Windows, and that was actually the last Windows I ever used on my personal machines.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you've just, you haven't seen the sun for all this time?
No, I used to use Windows 10 when I was working in TV.
Oh, that was going to be a good
And
joke.
it reminded me why I stopped using Windows.
Oh, man. Well, that's because I wasn't your IT guy, You could have constantly called me for help, and I would have, the way you fix printers, you go, and then you just unplug it, plug it back in, and then if they have a problem with it, you say, hey, it's Adobe PDF. That's Adobe Acrobat. That's it.
Yeah.
That's actually a really fun green text you should read sometime.
Sure.
I realize I keep on going off and recommending things to people.
Well, let's admit, this is a very
Subscribe
special...
to my channel. This is the barcode right here. You can go to my channel on here.
Shameless plug. But let's admit, this is the April Fool's episode, and we have absolutely no real subject that we're talking about.
Yes, in the comment section, please update this post and give kind gold to a stranger if you want me to show up here again. Because if there's enough drama in the comments, I will just randomly invade because I know where they live.
Yeah,
and
so
I am currently in the process of molding a key to this office to get in.
So the Duke will be in the comments after this video is no longer live.
I will harass anyone who
Tell us
harasses me.
if you want him back. If you do not want him back, don't say anything. If you actually want the Duke, Jack, back, tell us below.
Can I get a, oh yeah? Come on, guys, let's cheer for me.
You are so Gen Z.
Zoomer, a millennial. Alrighty. What do we got next?
Wishing that Jesse was in that chair.
Wow.
Okay, so we talked about... Let me see. We may even end this episode.
What? I like drinking out of a Perrier. It keeps it cold.
Does it make your water taste better?
Yes. The aluminum really makes it good. You know, a lot of Coke cans actually have a plastic lining on the inside, so that way the Coke doesn't eat the metal. You can take off the metal lining, and it's like a plastic squishy bag.
I did not know that.
Fun facts. All right.
But I believe it because Coke is full of all kinds of garbage that is actually unsafe for human consumption on its own.
Yet, it's his favorite drink.
No, it's not. I had a Coke for the first time at Burger King like 3 days ago. That was the first Coke I've had for a long time.
Get away from me. What's the next question? This is a Panera Bread family, alrighty? What?
I really don't know why we're still live.
I want more questions. Come on, we got time.
Yeah, leave a question for the Duke.
We got
okay?
time. We can burn through this. Let's go.
His specialties are computers, memes, breathing. He's good at breathing.
Actually, I'm kind of working on that.
You're like Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens.
I've never watched that movie.
Yeah, he's uncultured.
Someone here hasn't seen Bubba Hotep. That's a great movie. I know we haven't gotten to that part, but that's a fantastic movie. You should totally watch that. You want to know the premise of it?
From you?
Do you know the premise of it?
No.
Okay, so Elvis supposedly
I do know the premise of this movie.
died of I don't know, drugs. But he actually didn't. His doppelganger is the one who died because the real Elvis wanted to retire and live his life. But what happened is he got put in a nursing home along with his friend who I can't remember who plays the guy. But am I going into you're giving me that look. I feel like I should stop talking about this movie because I'm spoiling too much. It's a great movie. Ooh, I like this phone.
Yeah. It is the OnePlus.
My Apple's better. That's all I had to say about that. Can I hold the microphone? I really want to hold it, you know?
It's getting to the point of awkward silence.
I know. That's
making
because you're
me
not talking about.
uncomfortable.
That's because you're not talking about any subjects, Mike.
You know what? Yeah, let's bring up like.
Let's bring up some subjects, guys.
Did you see Linus Tech Tips April Fool's video?
I did. Alrighty. I mean, I thought it was pretty epic.
It is pretty
It
epic.
surprised me because I didn't expect there to be so many plugs in the video. But of course, that's the joke.
Here's my question: were they actually sponsored for that many positions? Because here's my thing: they could have actually gone to sponsors and been like, "Hey, you want to sponsor one of our points in this?"
I don't think so. The only thing now, I don't know if Seasonic was in there, but if Seasonic was in there, they definitely would have sponsored them because Seasonic and D-Brand. Oh, D-Brand was definitely sponsoring that video.
Oh,
Alrighty?
I actually looked up the URL.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's got an actual. It's an actual link where you can just buy the skins on their own.
Okay, I'm putting this back because I'm afraid I'm just gonna wobble it. D-Brand most definitely sponsored that video because I personally would really like a Linus Tech Tips face. I actually have that photo of him on my phone.
Oh yeah, they have that skin as well that you can buy.
Because it's such a good image. I actually have a whole photo folder dedicated to dedicate to different pictures of Linus.
Well, at least I know you're dedicated to something.
Oh wait, that's not the same ones. But I just realized he just roasted me there. Alrighty. What was you saying about Linus Tech Tips though? Is that what you want to be but you're not? I would drop this microphone right here, but it's too nice. Someone actually did that at a wedding, and I just saw the DJ go audible cringe.
Do you have any aspiration to do video professionally?
If the money's right and I can buy more electric scooters and I don't have to work. Yes.
Okay, so there is almost no money in video and you have to work your butt off. So, yeah, it's not going to work out for you.
Thanks, Mike. I mean, for Jesse, I think it's worked out for him. I mean, never mind. I'm not going. That's a bad joke. That would get banned from the podcast. I can't make that joke. You see what I have to deal with? He's put so many restrictions on me.
You know you're banning yourself right now, though.
Get ready for the OnlyFans only version of Premiere Prep.
This is what you get for April Fools.
I know. It's amazing. Can I press all those buttons on that thing? I'm really, really want to press. Also, I didn't realize your laptop has a display port, but it has the old Intel i7 logo on there.
Yeah, this is an older laptop. It's the Dell Precision M4700.
Thick.
It is very thick. It's got a Quadro K2000M. So it's the mobile version of the K2000. It has 2 gigs of VRAM. And this laptop's, I think, from around 2010 or so. And it's actually got a lot of features for being a 2010 laptop. It's got a fingerprint reader, wireless card reader. Of course, the i7 and the K2000M is enough. I mean, I can still edit in Resolve not too bad off of this thing.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, especially because, well, I mean, buying stuff used is where it's at.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
I
now.
bought this used for $500.
It's not bad. I mean, it's pretty crazy trying to buy anything new.
Oh, yeah.
Because electric scooters in particular. I love electric scooters. I don't know if you know. That's tech related.
Do you like electric scooters?
I love electric scooters. I actually convinced my friend to get one solely so he could go around in his yard to pick up his electric mowers. Because he didn't want to walk and pick them up.
Wait. His electric mowers?
Yeah. So, you've ever had a Roomba? Or you never had a Roomba?
Well, I'm familiar with it, but he has multiples?
Yeah. I mean...
Why?
Okay. So... he has a really big yard, in fairness. But he also, I'm not going to call him... Actually, I could get fired if I call him that. But he likes to take things easy, we'll just say.
Jesse, will you ensure that this gets to his boss?
I'll make sure.
Yes.
Anyway, basically, it costs a whole lot for people to cut the yard. So he got these electric mowers that are about this big, and they're actually really cool. You run a wire in the yard, like a dog collar, to prevent them from going out of range.
I'm familiar with them.
Dog collars? I mean, that would make sense. But they're really, really cool. And I would get one.
I'm familiar with the mower.
I mean, to each his own. But, the thing about it's really cool is that you can basically, for the most part, leave your yard, leave them like it is, and your yard is permanently cut.
Leave them like sanity left you.
Don't talk about her like that. All right. And so, the thing is, though, they get these giant anthills.
Yeah, you can't hold on to anybody very long, can you?
I don't have a good comeback that's not offensive, so I'm just going to let that one slide. These giant anthills form. You're just forming it. You're just thinking of roast when I'm talking. That's what's happening. And he has to go unstick them. And so that's what the electric scooter is for, which I let him use mine. He got hooked on it. He thought they were lame. But then he tried mine. He bought one, and he loves it. It's amazing. I would highly recommend buying an electric scooter. I'm actually going to buy another one because me and my friend Elijah, we're going to go behind the theater. There's a parking lot where a homeless dude wanted us to buy money from him or give him money, I think, whichever one they usually want. And there's a giant field behind there, and there's nothing back there. We were thinking we could just ride the scooters behind the AMC theater and see how far we could go.
That's cool.
We were doing that last night. We were actually going to try to scale the top of the theater, but there's no ladder, and it was kind of a disappointment. You should come with us sometime. I would live stream that. Unfortunately, I don't have unlimited data, but if I do, I will just live stream my adventures.
I don't know what else to say. Why are we doing this?
More tech tips. Come on, give me more stuff.
Okay. Jesse, please give us subjects to talk about.
I thought we had a bunch of subjects.
You're interesting.
I'm interested.
You're interesting. Yeah.
I don't think I'm that interesting.
Well, hold on. How old is this subjects?
I got 29 MPG in my car today.
Oh, that's lame.
That's great.
I got 18.
Can people please leave us something in the live chat?
Okay. Cup troubles. That's what the note says.
CPU.
Why
I
does it
told
say
you I
cup?
mistyped it.
Yeah, when I'm driving in the car.
Yeah, so let's move on to woes of the week.
My woe is that Micah doesn't want me on this podcast any more than I have to be. I realize this might be the last time.
So here's how this happened. Jesse asked if you could be on the podcast. And I was like, heck no. But then I was like, it's April Fool's Day. And this might be the only opportunity you ever have to be on the podcast.
That's true, except until next year.
That's true. We'll have him on next year if you want.
only time-
Again, tell us in the comments below.
Or Thanksgiving Day, same type of holiday. So I think that I can't wait to be on. Actually, that's 4 times. 2 times a year, not 4 times because there's no 2 Thanksgivings. I am incredibly excited to be on then because.
Wait, so 4 April Fool's Days a year. There's April Fool's.
Mm-hmm.
There's your birthday. There's Thanksgiving. And what's the 4th?
Your birthday. Anyway. What's my woe of the week? I don't really have anything. Oh, yeah. I swapped out my modem or router. I can't remember which one it is. The one that has all the little cables, not the little KB cable. And I got the Apple Airport, which is the best modem you can buy. All right? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know why they stopped making them?
Why?
Because they're easy to take apart. That's why they stopped. They were so easy to take apart.
Oh, so Apple was like, we have something that people can actually service themselves?
Exactly. You can actually repair stuff on them. And that's why they stopped. And, I had to replace... I decided to swap them out at 11 o'clock at night, which is really bad because, whenever you're doing tech things late at night and it's not working, it's just leading to frustration, because you want to play the games, it's in the game, and you just can't. It's EA.
You do a lot of gameplay on your channel, don't you?
Oh, yes. Currently, I'm doing a series on Cloudpunk, which it's not a comedic series, but I think I'm supporting the devs, and I just enjoy, it's a good game just to sit and vibe to. I would highly recommend it. That's another plug right there.
Well, and again, his channel is called The Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
And why'd you call it The Duke?
So...
Because you couldn't fill... there was not enough space to put Dookie?
It was a low-hanging fruit, man.
Just like your emotions.
Okay, I can't do it. I can't do a good cry. I'm gonna try to do a good cry. Can I have some Oreos to wash away my sadness, please? Thank you.
His
These are,
sadness,
for that
otherwise
one
known as
person
every
who
thought.
commented one thing, these are organic Oreos. that are gluten-free and are ketosis. I'm generating ketosis right now by eating these. What about within dimensions? What about that minivan chase, man?
That minivan chase.
Mm-hmm.
What minivan chase?
There's a minivan chase. In that.
There's not.
Yes, I have. I've watched Within Dimensions. Someone proved me right.
For one, it's an abandoned project, unfortunately,
Uh-huh.
just like you.
Hey,
And-
I'm working on myself.
And it was a Corolla that sped off and didn't actually chase anybody.
His wife said I could do ASMR. That's why I'm doing it. What about that, though? What went wrong with Within Dimensions?
We won't get into that, but it just would require an entire reshoot, which is going to happen eventually.
He's going to cast me as the main character. I'm really excited. If you've ever seen my work, which unfortunately most of it had to be deleted because it was shown
What work
to
are you talking about?
on Duke Lancaster's channel, most of the work was shown to a high school that he attended, and it had to be removed because of him, mostly. And so, really, I don't have much to show to my professional filmmaking name. However, there are a few projects that
Are you like a Casey Neistat filmmaker? You are a filmmaker?
Don't compare me.
Are you going to
that
start your
man.
film school?
Yes, I will start my own film school. You pay me $5 a month, and I'll do hey, it's two-time Tommy, back with another Instagram live. Always be kind.
What do you think of Casey Neistat calling himself a filmmaker?
I don't like his hair. I think that's what gets me about it, because it looks like that. He doesn't have enough hair to really pull off that style, but he's still hanging on to it, like his YouTube channel. It just-
That's actually very accurate. Does anybody actually watch Casey Neistat anymore? I haven't looked at his channel in forever.
I actually used to enjoy his content. Like,
I used to too. Back when he was doing the same stuff the first time.
like his not hoverboards, electric skateboard vlogs. I thought that was a really cool, and like the 360 camera.
He started losing me when he started basically viewing himself as the best thing to ever exist.
I don't think I ever got to that point, but he always did sort of had that, New York type of,
Was that your New York accent?
New York, yeah,
New York.
pizza. The rat make the pizza. That's Boston, actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Casey Neistat came out and he announced, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but he announced his own film school. And he's calling himself a filmmaker. Have you ever looked up his IMDb?
He hasn't done anything, has he?
He hasn't. It's his YouTube channel, which is all vlogs, which is not filmmaking. I can't get on a rant about that. Vlogging is not filmmaking.
So hold on. Okay, what would you define as filmmaking?
Feature-length films.
Okay, that's fair. But in a sense, okay, was his film school about making films, or was it making YouTube?
He's just calling it filmmaking.
Well, okay, in defense, it is sort of like saying I'm putting, I'm pressing down on the gas, like when you're on an electric scooter, even though there's no gas. People use that term pretty wildly, So in his defense, I would say, because I'll say there is a lot of people who do vlogs that actually do quite a good job. Because I've been on YouTube.
Here's the thing. I'm not discrediting vlogs. I'm trying to put them into the category in which they belong, which is not filmmaking.
So
And Casey Neistat is not a filmmaker.
Yeah, I guess, the thing is I realize what...
It's a disservice to say that you're one thing when you're actually not. Like, if I were to call this chair a car...
it's kind of it's the same thing. You call yourself a filmmaker, I'm not. That's going to be a mean roast. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Just like you call yourself a human being.
I am a registered human being, alrighty, in the state of the United States. The state, alrighty? The singular.
What state are you in right now?
Emotional distress after you've just been roasting me this whole time. I came on here. He was like, you got to talk about some tech topics, but you got to be a little funny. So I'm trying to be funny, and I'm trying to talk about tech, but he's just straight up flaming me. So what's the next topic?
Well, let me see. We just roasted Casey Neistat, which was a lot of fun. I cannot wait to roast him again at some point.
Look at him on his Android phone.
Oh, yes, but CPU troubles.
Sorry, it's the Perrier. Okay, so or cup troubles. Excuse me. So, all right, you wanna know about this?
Yes, your
It's very
CPU
funny.
problems
Okay,
from building
so
your new computer, which you're using to be an editing system for Vegas 13.
It renders really fast. I rendered a 7-minute video in 16 minutes. Now, if you're buying a 3900X and you buy an old, I think, B450 motherboard, you might have to upgrade the firmware on it. I keep on biting into the microphone. The thing is that I didn't realize this, so I got all my build hooked up together. I plug it in. It doesn't even turn on. Nothing happens. And so I'm corresponding with my friends, and they're like, okay, you might have to get a Ryzen 3600 to put in your board to upgrade the firmware for your new processor. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be down for a week. So my friend offers his 3700X. I hope he's not watching this stream.
Can you share this stream with him?
Okay, fine. Alrighty, if you've never taken off an AMD processor, you're supposed to jiggle it. Alrighty? You jiggle the processor back and forth. What happened is I jiggled a little too much, and it came off with the cooler. And only a couple of the pins were bent.
Okay.
So, after I got those fixed, which I did very diligently and correctly, I actually used your business card to put it in correctly.
Oh, thank you.
It was a little too.
I was using your head.
Yeah.
For once.
Anyway, aside from Micah's meager roastings, I got the thing fixed. I put it in my case, not cast. I finally got my firmware upgraded, which, the one thing about the motherboard, I'll go and tell you. The difference between a cheap and an expensive motherboard is the expensive motherboards have the BIOS flash button built in. So that way you can flash the BIOS without ever having to start up the computer, which is awesome. I wish I had that because my old motherboard had that.
That is pretty nice.
But this one did not.
Mm.
So I went through all of that, and then I'm like, I'm going to put in my new processor. We're ready to go. It doesn't work. It doesn't start up. It doesn't even go to BIOS.
Okay.
So we swap it back. Then that one doesn't work. So then we swap it back, and it works. And so we really have no idea what caused it to work and what didn't. But suddenly, everything started to work, and so I got everything up together, and it's been running good.
I hear sirens. Do you hear sirens?
I'm just kidding, guys.
Are you breaking your parole?
Yes. Better watch it. So,
Anyway.
CPU.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I bought.
You got it to work finally.
Yes, I got it to work. I got an NZXT cooler, which is the best, and I mounted it correctly, which is the tubes on top. No, on bottom. And the thing is I wanted the NZX cooler with a little LCD display, which was about $100 more, but I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed, so I sent back the other one, and I got one because they actually have one with LCD display that you can actually show your CPU and GPU temps, but I just show it like a GIF of him constantly on it because it's just, why would I not have that on?
You call it a GIF?
It's a GIF.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The guy passed away, and I bet he would have called it a GIF.
No, actually, he was on record for saying that he calls it a GIF, but he also did say that either way is correct.
Ugh, lame. I wish he had.
They even came out with a special version of peanut butter that was spelled GIF. I don't know if it was just one or whatever, but it was as a joke.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I don't really eat peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter.
Yeah, look up, I guess, GIF peanut butter.
I will definitely look it up for me, guys. I don't want to do the research. How do we get to talking about peanut butter? Oh, we're talking about thermal compound. Anyway, the NZXT cooler I think is the best of the best, and also
I have the Cooler Master T4, I think it is. It's a huge passive cooler. I love that thing.
Everything.
I never
is
have cooler
good
problems.
Except Corsair. I despise Corsair for the sake of my friend.
See, I actually do Corsair almost everything. I do Corsair PSU, RAM, case, and I think that's about it. I also do Cooler Master for my cooler, and then my motherboard is Asus. So here's a question I got for you. Obviously, you do video editing for your channel, the Duke, the Dookie. But besides that, you're not doing too much video work. You're doing mostly gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't really edit anything other than my videos.
Right.
I'm not trusted. I have edited slideshows before for rehearsals.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's actually quite fun. You know, you just get all the photos. You put like Get Low by Flo Rida on, and for the rehearsal dinner, people really like that. And that's not really that impressive. And technically, it's not video work because it's a bunch of photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I occasionally do it.
Okay. But so I've actually never really had all that great luck with AMD, but I am considering AMD next time because I'll be honest, like the computers that I've had the most problems with were actually AMD based. I've even had issues where after a while they literally just stopped booting up.
So I've never had a computer actually die on me.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was because AMD's motherboard systems and stuff like that. I don't know. But my computer's getting to be about 6.5 years old now. And I'm greatly considering upgrading my editing machine soon. But I don't know if I want to go AMD or Intel. Because one of the things I have considered was just getting a new CPU. Because I'm on the LGA 2011 socket version 3. And I could find the most powerful CPU they ever made for it. Which might honestly be mine. I've got the 6800K. I don't know if that's the most powerful or not. But if I could go to like maybe a Xeon with 8 cores or something like that, you can buy those on eBay all day long. You know, some of them even as low as $25-$30. And if I got to buy 2 or 3 until I get one that properly works, I've just got an extra 2 cores.
So in regards to that, I'll actually say, back to my CPU issue, the reason that I had that issue is because that motherboard is older than that new CPU.
Right.
Because it's a Ryzen 5 3900X, which is something...
and AMD almost never updates their chip, or their socket.
Yeah, which is actually something, because like the problem with like the 6700K is if I want to get like I don't know what generation, if I want to get a new like 10th or 11th, I have to get a whole new system anyway.
Yeah.
There is no flexibility there. And also, I'll just be honest, it might be biased, but I personally just like AMD better as a company because Intel was perfectly fine to sit on their laurels and be like, everyone can have quad cores until 2025 and then they can have hexa-cores. And so that's why
AMD was like 12 cores.
Well, yeah, that's why AMD completely smashed the floor. And, like my friend Elijah, he was running a...
Honestly, I think what you're talking about, though, that response from AMD, I think that's probably why Intel's coming out with the ARC GPUs.
I actually have not heard anything about this. They're coming up with their own GPU line?
You really don't know about this?
I've heard, I've seen some of the Linus, tech tips videos about like
the
dummy
they just released.
GPUs.
Well, no, they just released the actual ARC GPU for mobile applications.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and the Iris Xe graphics, I think that's kind of like a slight lead up to ARC. But I don't know about that. But the thing is basically Intel finally said we need to make our own GPU, dedicated GPU. Sorry.
You made me burp. Continue.
You are a burp. But and I don't even know what that means.
That's just straight flame. That was not even,
But anyway, so Intel finally said, okay, we got to come up with our own GPU again. Or did they ever make one? They did. They did it in the early days.
They did a long time ago.
Like 90s or something like that.
Yeah.
But the ARC GPUs look incredible. The thing is, though, I don't even know what the software looks like or anything like that. I did see that the newest Linux kernels are supporting it, I think, at the kernel level. So you can basically just plug in a GPU and it just runs.
Kernel level.
Yeah. So knowing the way Intel has handled software and stuff in the past, you might not even need to properly install drivers for it. Because if I'm not mistaken, AMD GPUs are the same way on the Linux side. I'm not saying on Windows.
Yeah, I was about to
but
say.
because like OpenGL and OpenCL and all that kind of stuff, it's all open source, so they can integrate it right into the kernel and stuff, and you basically just plug it in and go.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I honestly haven't done any research, so I can't really say too much. I would say I would be interested to see what Intel's GPUs are looking like.
Yeah.
They seem, Intel's always been more commercial. Well, I mean,
I've actually seen that with the Xe graphics, which is a step down, the DaVinci Resolve is supposed to actually perform pretty decently on them.
Well, I guess I'm sort of interested because I've always taken graphics cards more from a gaming side rather than a editing side. Because, like, for editing perspective, having a lot more VRAM seems a lot very appealing. Then, of course, you can't get any of these graphics.
No, no.
Get anything.
Believe me, I run out of VRAM with Infusion once a month at least, and it just sucks because you have to reboot the entire thing. And it depends. Like, it'll be more than that a month if I'm working on a lot of big comps constantly. But I actually just installed Fusion. So this is really cool. We can talk about this more later, but I installed standalone Fusion because there's, of course, Fusion built into DaVinci Resolve, and then there's a standalone version. And the standalone version, Studio, actually works with the Studio key for DaVinci Resolve. So now I have both actual standalone Fusion installed, and I'm running it with my DaVinci Resolve key from DaVinci Resolve Studio, which is amazing. But we'll talk more about that in the future, some of the differences.
I've never had any issues like that with Sony Vegas. Just putting that out there.
What issues?
You were saying you ran out of VRAM. Sony Vegas just crashes. Anyway.
For no apparent reason, right?
Yeah, actually. I actually just don't really like Intel because I just, it's so, not that I like dislike them on some fundamental level. It's just that I like sort of what AMD did, especially because the price for performance ratio, just like what I was getting at before you rudely interrupted me, is my friend Elijah. He was running an old not 4600, but an old Intel i5 that was slugging out.
Yeah.
It was completely. It wasn't running modern games at all. We upgraded to like a Ryzen, I think 3100, which is like $160 processor or something. It ran everything completely fine, and it's still running just fine.
Okay, so my thing with AMD, I do love what they've done. I love their price to performance ratio. That everything that I've seen has been incredible. The biggest thing for me, and I also love how they basically open source almost all of their software. The biggest thing for me is, one, NVIDIA, as far as GPUs go, basically has the market covered for video editing.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of good things that I have seen from AMD. Like, I don't know. I just have never run an AMD GPU for video editing purposes in about 7 or 8 years. And that one was probably about 10 years old at the time anyway. It was a really old GPU. Had 512 megabytes of VRAM.
Wow.
Beefy little GPU.
That's beefy, man.
Yeah. I was balling at the time.
I was going to say, we actually haven't run AMD graphics cards in years, but I've actually always heard that they've been better for video editing than Intel.
Or
not Intel.
NVIDIA. The FirePro GPUs are basically like the Quadros for NVIDIA. The FirePro AMDs. Yeah. The FirePro AMDs are like the NVIDIA Quadros. And obviously Mac even implemented that into their Mac Pro, the trash can one. Whee! Yeah, the trash can was 2 FirePro GPUs. And I've seen people running Resolve with them well, and I've seen people, of course, just using them for video editing in general. But CUDA is an incredible technology, and they've done so well with that.
You got to be careful, though, with people who are running CUDA. You don't want to get cooties. That's terrible.
You're
so
terrible.
in regards to AMD, I have always known their graphics department has lacked. And I guess the problem is right now, it's so weird with how things are, because at this point, if there was an AMD graphics card that was new, if I needed a graphics card, and there was an AMD graphics card that was new and cheaper than NVIDIA, I would grab it purely because of just the way things are right now. So that's one of the things that sort of muddies it, at least currently, because I'm hoping next year it'll go all the way down. We can be back to being like, oh, I can actually include a graphics card that's not the same price as my entire build.
I know. Believe me, that the GPU shortage is terrible, because I was finally about to actually upgrade from my 1060 with 6 gigs of VRAM. I was going to finally get something that had like 10 or more gigs of VRAM. But of course, everything went haywire. Thank you, crypto miners.
GPU, more like GP. Blue.
All right. So we got like 6 minutes left, because this whole episode has pretty much been pointless. So this whole episode is April Fool's. Okay.
I'm getting threatened.
You're a walking threat.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to basically wrap this up with our movie suggestions of the week. What is your movie suggestion of the week?
Spanish Secretariat.
And Secretariat is?
I think it's a movie about horses.
Yes.
Yes. 10 years ago, I was on a plane. I don't remember where I was going. But
Just kind of like the rest of your life. Nowhere.
Yeah. Wait, what? Anyway, I was on a plane, and there was nothing else to watch. This was back when they had CRTVs in planes, the big chonky boys. And I thought it was a foreign film, and because the whole thing, even the horses were in Spanish. And so we were watching this, and I think it was a good movie. I don't really know. I mean, I remember liking it then, but I would say the Spanish version made it stand out in my mind more than any other movie.
Do you speak Spanish?
Bueno. Is that no? Nine. There you go. And so, I would say that Secretariat spoke to me on that level, because I can't really go into it. I can't speak. I had a whole Spanish bit that I was trying to practice, but I can't. I think it has swear words in it, and so I can't say any of it, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, my movie suggestion of the week is Trading Places. I wanted to pick a comedy for April Fool's Day, and this is one of
Just like your life.
Well, you entered my life, and ever since then, it has been a comedy.
Okay.
But no, Trading Places is one of the funniest movies I've seen in the past 3-4 years. It came out in 1983, so it's been around for a while. But it is Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, and it is comedy gold. So definitely recommend you go check it out. But I want to end this episode early just because I want to get out of this situation as soon as I possibly can. Thank you guys so much for watching. And for reals, even though it's just been a giant April Fool's joke, I appreciate having you on, Jack.
I have had a lovely time here, and I can't wait to be back next week.
Next year.
Next month.
Next
I'll
year.
negotiate this, guys. Don't worry.
We'll see you next April
Unfortunately, I
Fools.
might not, because people are saying that I shouldn't be talking about bidets, and I shouldn't scale a theater, and I shouldn't scooter in a field.
Who is that, Jack?
I'm not telling you.
Who's telling you these things?
I'm not telling you. That's a secret. But I might have to call someone after this to explain everything I did on this. But
Just for the sake of you, I'm not actually going to say who it is. You're welcome.
thank you. But, I've enjoyed being on the podcast. I think I want to thank America for allowing me this opportunity. Are you ending the stream early? Hey, don't you dare.
I would like to.
Don't you dare end the stream early.
I would like to.
Don't. But what I was gonna say is I'm really privileged to be here, and I think that Micah really